because I didn't test it this morning.
you're on.
So I actually forgot to pick it up until the last minute. You know, between you and John, I got to thinking about, there've been a lot of good things, but what meant so much to me is what we're actually going to carry to the new building as a spiritual family. And the first thing that came up for me is the flowing love that flows in our pictures here all the time. I remember when I first came, really liking that people looked you in the eyes and they didn't look you up and down and judge you before they even talked to you. That they saw you as a person and were willing to accept you just right where you were, however or whatever that was. That meant more to my wounded heart than anything possible, and it happened here. Since then, we've continued to grow as a spiritual family, continue to care for each other. I don't know any place in the world that I would recommend more than this place if you want to go and heal. People help you, they support you, they're there when you need them, you're never alone. And I'm not just talking small town running into everybody all the time. They're there for you and they care. And that's part of the flow that I really like to see. We're flowing with that and taking it to a new building. And while this one has been very, very loving, there wasn't room for growth. We needed growth. We needed places for more things, to do more activities. And because of all of us, we're going to be able to do that. So as we say goodbye, there's going to be some sadness because we have been comfortable here. We've gotten used to where we sit all the time. We've gotten used to how it looks like. And there's going to be a little adjustment period when we get to the new building, finding out where you want to sit or how things look to you or what you want to do. But there are unlimited opportunities for what we can do over there. That blessing is this place is we couldn't do here. Tim's, that he's developing the learning center, we couldn't have done it here in the way we're going to be able to do over there. We're going to be able to do outdoor activities. How many times have I said, I wish we could take the service out here and just sit out in the sun and enjoy the outdoors? We'll be able to do more of that. So we're going to take what we've started and built as a foundation here, and we're going to move it over there and make it even grander. So if you'll close your eyes for a minute, let's just all feel the blessing and the love that's been available here. We thank you, beloved building, for all that you've supported us, that you've kept us out of the rain, so to speak, without the leak, kept us warm, kept us helpful, kept us open, welcoming, loving. There have been many prayer treatments that were answered here, many healings that happened within here. This building loved us and nurtured us to the best of its ability, and as we go, we leave only blessings here and love here, that it may continue on and provide sanctuary for others. I accept that it was a good healing experience here. We learned lots, we shared lots, we cried lots, and we smiled lots. And I am so thankful, so very thankful and grateful for this building. And so it is.
So it is.
As most of you know, I'm just back from Spain. And I want to talk about it a little bit because I did have some really awesome moments over there. Where I went was up in the northwest part of Spain, Galicia. And all the Spanish that you think you may know doesn't do you any good because they speak Galician, which is different. Has a lot of the harsh sounds and the X's and stuff in it. This area is known as the Seventh Celtic Kingdom. So if you think of Ireland, it's similar. It's green like that, you've got rolling hills, you've got standing stones. There's very much a sense of presence there. We were about an hour from Santiago de Compostela, and I don't know if you're familiar with pilgrimages, but almost every religion has some sort of a pilgrimage. This is one of the Catholic ones where they start in Brussels, and they walk down through the Pyrenees, down through France, all the way across Spain, and end up at a pilgrim's mass at noon on the Sunday when they get there. Now, you may have seen Shirley MacLaine wrote a book about it. Martin Sheen did a documentary on it when he walked it. If you remember Chris Powell, she and her husband walked it. I have only admiration because I don't know how they did it. The Muslims have the Hajj. If you remember Canterbury Tales when you were in high school, that was a pilgrimage to Thomas a Becket. So you see them all over, this almost a need to touch base with your faith, to touch base with symbols that are important. What came to me going through all of this, and we must have gone through like 15 different churches, felt all kinds of frequency, all kinds of energy. But I was really focusing on pilgrimage and what that means. I did a lot of surrender. I did a lot of release. But I wanted to take it into, do we do pilgrimage? And I think we do. We talk about living in the now moment. We talk about being aware of the journey. We talk about releasing things that no longer serve us. We talk about reprogramming and coming into more alignment with Source. Is this not a pilgrimage that we're doing every day? You see some of the old writings and they talk about how they would walk barefoot, or they would go throw themselves down on the ground, which is what?
Prostrate.
Thank you. I was afraid I'd say that word wrong. And then get back up, and then do it again and get back up. Isn't that what we do every time we hit a bump in the road? We go down, and then we come back up. We do this automatically, just living this life. So whether you're aware of it or not, it is a spiritual journey for everybody in this world. Learning how to deal with our issues, learning how to walk through them, learning how to be a better person, if you will. Learning how to work through mistakes, to change, to let things go. It's not an easy walk that we have here. I wish it could have been easier. That would have been nice. But I wouldn't be the person I am today or learned what I've learned. I wouldn't be able to love the way I love today if I hadn't gone through all of those dark nights of the soul. If I hadn't gone through all those tears. If I hadn't seen the dark side of anger and come back from it, to be able to appreciate what is possible in this world. I couldn't have been the therapist I am if I hadn't walked in those shoes. How could I relate? You don't get that out of reading a book. You get that out of experiencing it. We experienced this building with all its glorious issues. We need to have the same blessing and thankfulness for ourselves, because we all have these issues, or have had them, or maybe are going to have them. How often do we go, damn, you did good. No matter how bad it was, you did good. Because you're here today. You're alive, you're breathing, you're loving, you're caring. You did something to be in this room at this moment. How many times have you told yourself, you really are a blessed person? You really are a lovely person. You really have a heart. Do we take the moments to bless ourselves? As we bless this building, think about it. We all have. We're like diamonds. You have all the different facets. We have good days. We have so-so days. We have some days that maybe aren't too good. What every one of us has in common is we've all failed. However we define failure, we feel that in some area we've failed. What we also have in common is that each one of us has gotten up and is still going. Each one is still getting up and facing the day. Each one is still somehow living a life. That is important. To try and, not even try, to strive for the light. That livingness, that beingness that keeps us going. We all have that strength, or we wouldn't be here right now. We all care, or we wouldn't be here right now. Think of those things. When you're looking in the mirror, or you think you said something wrong, or didn't do it right, or missed an opportunity, or whatever it was. When you dump on yourself, recognize you're dumping, and then in the next minute, bless yourself. Because you learned something in the dumping, you just realized when you did it. Take that moment to grow and bless. Because it all has a purpose. Everything has consciousness. Everything is part of Source. Everything is alive. If we don't take anything else out of this building, take the fact that we learned to value something that we thought was imperfect, something that wasn't as nice as maybe we wanted, something that was worn out and put away wet, but we learned to value it. Joe came in and painted. I remember the first day I came in, I had blue shock. But you know, I like the blue now, and I'm going to miss it. But we learned to put value in it. He put love and care in every stroke on these walls. That's how we put value into things. That's how we release. How many times have you gone in the forest and you know you're supposed to leave your campsite cleaner than you got it? You're supposed to pick up trash along the way. But you still value it however it is. We value the forest. It's got a lot of dead trees out there. It's got a lot of blackened fire stuff. It's got a lot of undergrowth. It's got trash that people have left. But we still love our forest. We don't like throw it away or take it all down and get rid of it. We pick up the trash. We do what we can. We learned that here. We worked the best and most loving way that we could in this wonderful old building who served us well. This building's been abused by a landlord that didn't really appreciate it. We appreciated it. Mopped up the floors, put a little dab on the ceiling. We had air filters in here. We made it the best it could possibly be because that's what we are. That's who we are. This is what we're taking with us. So I'm very grateful to this building and how it helped us to be more, to stretch, to love more, to appreciate more, to be the best that we could be within what we were working. We're going to be even more when we move. But remember always, we started here. We started at the other buildings that we're in. I remember the first one when Mom was coming up with Angie. A little old hole in the wall over there, but it worked. They all work. When you look in the mirror, know that wherever or whatever you are, you're working. You're here, you're important, there's a purpose. We all help each other. If you all weren't here looking me in the eye, I'd be judging myself because if all of you were going, what do you think I'm going to be doing? Like that, right? And then going home and looking in the mirror and seeing what was really bad and what they didn't like and then all the thoughts going. But because we all help each other, because we love each other and look in each other's eyes and are there for each other, as a spiritual family, we are awesome. Awesome. But we wouldn't be a complete family without each and every one of you. It needs us all of us. So our pilgrimage brought us to this point. And our pilgrimages are going to take us on. One together and then individual ones. But know this. Each and every one of us can be anything we want to be if we want to work at it and want to practice at it and play at it. We come in with all of the connections we need to be anything, to speak any language. But they atrophy because we don't use them. It's not that we don't have the ability. I mean, if I wanted to do something and I'm willing to practice and learn it and live it and breathe it, I could do it. But there's so many things that aren't that important. So the things that are important to me, I do well. And that's how we all are, so you don't judge. It's just where do you choose to put your time? What did you choose to focus on? What did you choose to do? So when you need healing, reach out. We've got practitioners. We've got ministers. We have the healing circle. We are important, each and every one of us. So as we go to this new building, we're going to take that with us. We're going to take our smiles and our love and our greetings, and we're going to get bigger and bigger and more loving and more outpouring. And to celebrate that on the 15th, when we have that party, it's going to be a party. It's not going to be a regular service. It's going to be music and drumming and blessings and sage and essential oils and food. We're going to come together and break bread and use music and all of the other things we know how to do to really consecrate that building to the vision that we have all created. We are one, guys. We are one. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you.